Hope you guys are having a great day. This is Blaze. It seems like everyone on the internet is a millionaire. Everyone just has tons of money. And there's so much different advice out there on the internet. Some are live below your means, get out of debt, invest in yourself, start a business, invest in Doge. No, really, don't listen to me on that one. And also save as much money as you possibly can. So in this video, I'm gonna watch ANDREI JIKH. Andre, I'm sorry if I murdered your last name. He's one of my favorite YouTubers to watch, and he's going to tell us how you can save 50% of your salary or the money that you bring in. And I'm also going to tell you, is this realistic or is this some good advice that you can take and implement yourself? So let's go ahead and take a look and take a watch. Hopefully we can save 50%.
I just found out something crazy. If you randomly put 3 people together in one room here in the United States, only one of those people will have more than $1,000 in their savings account. In 2019,
he's absolutely right about this. I can even think when I'm back in college, when I barely even had $5 in my bank account.
Go Banking Rates did a survey asking Americans how much money they had in their savings account. And the results are getting worse and worse because 69% of people polled said that they have less than $1,000 to their name. That means 2/3 of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. But how can that be? The stock market is at an all-time high. The real estate market is climbing higher and higher, and the economy is doing great.
Even though the stock market is going up, crypto's going up, most people don't have that extra money to put aside for investing. They're just trying to get food on the table.
And I think the real reason is, at the risk of upsetting 2/3 of people watching this video, is because of our inability to delay gratification. So I wanted to make this video to
That is so true. You can look around and people have all these nice things. They want the newest car. They want the biggest, nicest house they possibly can get. They can want the newest iPhone. It's just instant gratification that we all want. It just makes us feel good to have something nice and shiny. Woo! But also at the same time, it makes us broke.
Show you how you can save 50% of your income so that you can build a 6-figure portfolio like I have in just 4 short years with a very average salary. I'm excited to get started, and to show you how to do it, I want to introduce you to a very special person who did exactly that. Hello, love.
Hello.
This is Corey. She was able to save 50% of her income, earning a very average US American salary. But before we get into all the numbers, first, who are you?
In this video, he's not going to actually tell us how he saves 50% because he's already a millionaire, and it's a lot easier to save half of $1 million than if, say, you bringing in $30,000 to $50,000. That's especially a lot better for the viewer, because if you're going to tell me,
this is how you save 50% on your salary or the money you're bringing in, but I make $1 million and I save half of it.
it's like, yeah, dude, I could save half of it too if I had $1 million. Good. I like how he sets his video up.
Corey, what do you do for a living?
I am a stripper. No.
Nice, because we're in Vegas. What else are you gonna do without a degree?
I do event planning.
Event planning, huh?
For strippers.
Wow. Be more specific.
No, I don't want to do Pacific.
No, you don't want to do Pacific? All right, we'll do Atlantic. I don't know. How much money do you make? What do you make?
It was $49,800.
$49,800.
His girlfriend makes an average wage for an American, so that's pretty good to follow, especially when we're going through these steps. And that just helps us see, can an average American save 50% of their money?
You look like you just made that number. You're like a 49, was it really?
Yeah.
Okay, 49,000. So basically $50,000 a year, which is a very average US income for the job that you do. But most jobs that pay this much, they require college degrees. Do you have a degree?
Yes.
Now, I don't, but did you have to get a degree to have your job?
No, I don't. I didn't have to have a degree to have my job.
So why did you go to college and get a degree?
Burn.
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, that's such a burn. And I always tell myself the same thing. It's like, if you're not gonna specialize in something like a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer or something, a lot of times you don't need a degree. It's just installed in our brain that you gotta go to college to get a good job, but that's not correct at all. For my business, I don't even need a degree. Yeah, I wasted 5 5 years of my life in college. Now, it was a great experience, but still, yeah, I had to pay a bunch of college loans.
Yeah, I went thinking that I need one for a high-paying job. And
Because your mom and dad said you have to.
yeah,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
so did the school system.
But you don't have any debt, do you?
No.
You paid it off.
Yes.
At the worst, how much did you owe?
Well, I
Paid
mean,
off.
I had help from my parents to pay for school.
Now, I'm not going to hate on her for this, for her parents paying most of her college. I mean, I wish my parents paid for my college. It's not normal for an average American for their parents to pay most of their college. A normal person incurs about almost $40,000 of loan debt after college. I worked 2 of the 4 years I was at college, and I still had about $32,000 of loans. Ah, gosh, I hate that loan, but luckily that's paid off. Thank you.
I,
Rich girl. How much did you owe?
with help from my parents,
Yes.
about $1,000.
$1,000, that's it.
Yeah.
Now I know most people at this point are gonna pause the video and be like, nah,
Yeah, but
she
I
had
was
help.
back at my end.
You can't hate her for that, because I mean, I wish I had my loans paid off. So it just depends if your parents are responsible.
$12,000 a year.
So you held a job and you were paying for it yourself.
Yeah.
Even if you want to dismiss her and say, well, she had help from her parents, she technically didn't need to go to college to be where she's at right now. In fact, she would have gotten there earlier had she spent those 4 years.
But that's the problem. That is the problem. It's instilled to everyone, to get a better job, you have to go to college.
So the next follow-up question then is, how were you able to save 50% of your income when at this moment in time, 2/3 of Americans don't have $1,000 to their name? How is it you were able to save $25,000 after taxes in 1 year? Like, how are you able to do that? If somebody's making a similar amount that you are,
So that only gives her $25,000, not before taxes. You still got to pay taxes on that. And yeah, that's not a lot of money, to be honest with you. $25,000, and she lives in Las Vegas? Well, that's not a lot of money.
maybe we can give some actionable advice to how they can get there too. And we can do that by starting with the big 3: food, travel, and
Makeup.
by the way,
I'm gonna have to say this. Makeup is super expensive. Not because I wear it. When my wife has to go buy some eyeliner or whatever, I don't know what the other stuff blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the other stuff is called, but that stuff is super expensive. And if you're buying that at least once a month, twice a month, I don't know how long that stuff lasts, but that stuff can get super expensive. So right off the bat, you can take about $100 a month off that.
yeah, that stuff is expensive. But the third thing I was gonna say is your housing, right? Like how much you pay for your house. Those are the big 3 expenses. That's what we're gonna break down and see exactly how much you pay, where we shop, and how she's able to save 50% of her income. So starting with number 1.
It's 6 minutes in, and they really haven't given us any good ways to save 50% of our money. They're really, I mean, it's still entertaining to watch, but I still haven't got any kind of big things that they've told us, any information to say, hey, this is how you save 50% of your money. Right now, all I know is she doesn't pay any school loans, and she buys a lot of makeup.
One, and that is your food.
Love food.
I love food. Okay, so how much do you spend on food then?
Per week, probably 20 to 30.
$20 to $30? Okay, if I'm watching this video right now, I would
Yeah.
pause it and be like, no.
I'm pausing it right now. There's no way she's eating food for $20 to $30. Like, I work out a lot, so just my protein alone, to get some cheap protein so I don't have to go buy meat, because meat's super expensive, I buy a big thing of protein powder, which alone is just $20. Okay, but let's see what she has to say about this.
Nah, no way. No, I don't believe that.
I eat top ramen.
Yeah, I just eat noodles for a living. No, but seriously,
I know
how do
how
you
that
pay
goes.
$25 to $30 per week? How does that work?
That's basically just like the essentials, fruit, vegetables, oatmeal stuff, but I really just
Fruit and vegetables are super expensive. It's way more expensive than eating unhealthy food.
stock up on my company's employee dining room. So I've just become like a chef there.
That must be nice.
It's not always the best options.
Okay. Oh man. So she works for a company that has a cafeteria, which is amazing for her. I mean, that's great. But 99.9% of companies are not going to have cafeterias where you can just go eat as much as you want. Like, that's unrealistic for a normal person. More realistically, I think $50 to $75 a week for groceries, if you're trying to cut back, would be enough. but not $20 or $30. Yeah, no company has a cafeteria. It's super rare. So, I mean, good for her though. That's awesome that her company has that, but most people are going to be spending $200 to $300 on groceries a month minimum.
It's not always the best options, but you have to make the best out of it.
Yeah, because she sometimes comes home and
And also, I will tell you just from college, eating the cafeteria food in college just gets so boring and you get so tired of that same food. So even though she's only not really paying that much for groceries, I mean, you're going to get tired of the food. So, I mean, you got to feel it. You got to feel bad for her there.
food sucks.
That's when I first started. But now I'm like, oh my God, it's saving me so much money.
Where do you and I go shopping?
Money,
Because
money,
we
money.
leave out the bougie stuff like Whole Foods and organic food. Nah, son, it ain't about that. When we feel adventurous, we go to like the 99-cent store.
I like going to a store that has the shopper card
Yeah.
where you can get like points and that goes towards the gas you buy. So,
Yeah.
so you save on top of that.
We go to Smith's a lot,
Smith's.
and they offer that little card and you scan it, you get little discounts, and then it can also go towards gas. And if you're a family,
Most grocery stores have that, which is awesome. You can save like an additional 10 cents per gallon. So after a while, that's going to save you a good amount of money, so for the $20, $30 grocery bill that she has. I'm not hating on her, I'm just saying.
if you're just watching this, you're like, wow, but they're single people without kids. Because insert excuse here. You can go to Sam's Club, right?
Sam's Club.
But as far as actionable advice,
I don't have any kids, but man, it's going to be so much harder to save 50% when you have kids. Extra food, extra clothes you have to buy, everything goes up when you have kids. I am married, and it's a lot easier when you have 2 different salaries and you're splitting the bills. This makes it so much easier to save. But when you have some kids, or in my case, we have 3 dogs, whoo, them vet bills, I'm telling you, vet bills are super expensive.
goes, buying in bulk is one of the most amazing ways to save money, but we just shop at places like Smith's and Walmart. I don't buy grapes in the winter time.
You buy great value.
I will say this, like Sam's Club, what's the other one? Costco. Those are some great places to just buy in bulk. If if you're eating a ton of oatmeal or you're eating a ton of like steak, okay, maybe not steak because you're trying to save 50%, but if you notice you're eating or drinking a certain thing a lot and you can get it so much cheaper buying it bulk, that's some great advice. So get you one of those Sam or Costco cards because it also will help you save some money on the gas as well. So it's a win-win.
we buy great value brands. Yeah, we stay away from everything like that, and we eat pretty healthy. We cook at home, and that's a huge money.
We've been doing this recently to save a little bit more money. It's going from not the brands, but the great value. Some of the great value tastes just the same. Like, okay, so I eat a lot of oatmeal. She obviously eats a lot of oatmeal too. And one box of the oatmeal I get is like $5, but the off-brand is like $1. And I eat 2 boxes a week. So I could save so much money during the year if I just buy the off-brand. And I tested it out. It tastes identical. Now there are some things you don't want to go buy that are great value, like toilet paper, 1-ply toilet paper. Yeah, it's going to disintegrate before you even use it. Don't go cheap on the toilet paper. That's what I'm saying.
And then we go to number 2, which is travel. So that is basically your car expense or how you get from point A to point B. But the car that Corey drove up until like a few weeks ago was a Ford Focus. What year?
2005.
2005.
Ford Focus ZX3.
Right.
2-door.
A 2-door.
It's a sporty little RC car.
Ooh, that car, I'm telling you, we drove it to the ground. Like, it would not.
Probably, I'm just guessing here, she finally paid off her car or eventually just paid off her car. But most people are going to go buy the newest, the fanciest car they can find. And right when you leave the lot with that new car, it automatically loses like 40%. It depreciates 40%. Why would you do that? So I looked and see what the average person pays for a used or new car. It's around $400 to $500 a month. That's just crazy to think. So if your car's not paid off, you're paying that much. And unfortunately, when I got out of college, I had to go buy a car. And I wanted to buy a cheap car, but my car payment was still like $350. It's just ridiculous. And then you have insurance. Insurance is gonna be around $100 because you're young. So $300, almost $450 to $500. Oh, goes right out of your pocket.
Not drive anymore. Like the door latches just broke. You couldn't even enter the car from the driver's side. You had to go through the passenger side and crawl through the seat to get to the driver's side. Everything was broken.
After I got out of college and bought a car, I still had that same car to this day, and it's still my main car that I drive around because I don't have a car payment. Why have a car payment to a depreciating asset? It's just, So I still have that car. I'm gonna drive it until the wheels fall off. I'm telling you, I just love saving the money.
Pretty much.
And the third biggest expense is
House. So the way I was able to save so much from housing is, you've mentioned before, like we split rent 3 ways. Baseline, what I pay, what I'm responsible for is $475. And then I also pay internet, which is $76.
This is like super smart to do. House hacking, where you get your friends or some other people that you know and go in on a house that have 2 to 3 or 4 rooms and you split it because it becomes a lot cheaper. An average apartment or house with 2 bedrooms is around $1,100. If it has 3 bedrooms, it's around $1,200 to $1,300 nationwide. If you split that up, it's like $400, which is like way cheaper than anything you can get.
you know, you don't even have to own the house, but house hacking is this brilliant thing where you can live in one unit and rent out the other. We're kind of doing that by living in one part of the house by renting out different parts to each other. Do whatever you have to conquer your mental self. Like for me, it's, you know, sometimes buying things that look fancy but that are really not. But you have to trick yourself first into overcoming your need to always have to spend money. Or
mine is food. If I don't have anything prepared that night, in my head is like, ooh, I get to eat out. Me and my wife track everything and then we go and look how much we've eaten out and we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know we ate that much this month. What are we gonna do? And if we don't have anything prepared, we're gonna have to eat cereal because we're not going to eat out and spend this money. We'd rather save it.
or look fancy or whatever it is, and as soon as you master yourself, which is some weird Zen thing to say from this futuristic Zen millennial thing, but if you can master yourself, Neo, then yeah, then you can really save a ton of money.
So some of the things I got from this video was do some house hacking, divide the payment up to 2 to 3, 4 different people depending on how much rooms it has. Living below your means, you know, don't go crazy on your groceries. Try to get some of the value brands, go buy from bulk. And another thing, you don't have to have a super fancy car to go from point A to point B. I mean, she had like a little raggedy old car for a little while. I still have my raggedy old car and I still drive it a lot. But also at the same time, I think this video has a flaw. Like she went to college but doesn't have college loans. She doesn't have a car payment. I really like what she did with her living where they did the house hacking, which is great. Another thing that she said is she only pays $20 to $30 for groceries, which is obviously unrealistic for most people. She doesn't include health insurance, taxes, her electricity bill. I mean, there's a ton of things. If they have an animal, you gotta feed the pet. There's so many things. So for this video, is it realistic to save half your income if you're making an average American salary of $50,000? And to me, thinking about all the bills you have to pay, I'm gonna say no, but you can get really close. Once you pay off that car, you're not gonna have the car payment. And then also when you're doing the house hacking, you're gonna save so much money. Once you pay off your student loans, you're not gonna have that either. Now you're gonna have a later start than she did, but you eventually can save 50%. But what you gotta do is just list and make a budget, put all the essentials on your list, and then save the rest. That's all you have to do. Put your essentials on one side, count it up, and then save the rest. And no, not eating at a nice fancy restaurant is not essential. Getting super nice clothes isn't essential, but you still want to put something in there, you know, to treat yourself. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not splurging and wasting all your freaking money. So yeah, go check out Andrei's channel, ANDREI JIKH. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your last name, but he's super entertaining. He does a lot of magic during his little talks. I don't do. Here's this. Whoop, it's gone. Woo! If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.